First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe. Welcome to episode 4 of Big Nate Talk Podcast. Um, excuse me, I'm cleaning off my glasses. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. I was to have a special guest, Nicholas Rosario Jr. from Let's Talk Football, but due to a scheduling conflict, he will not join me this evening. But the show must go on. So a couple of things I want to get into tonight's episode. So what I was going to do, I was going to talk about, I was going to do a separate episode for the NBA draft, but my reaction, like I did with the NFL, was kind of tough trying to really kind of put that into a bonus episode. I tried to even get a recording of it, and that was kind of a little too much. So pretty much what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to recap the draft. I'm also going to talk about the NBA, the MLB trade deadline. We had a lot of great trades. We've seen the Chicago Cubs rebuild. The Yankees made some significant moves. The Los Angeles Dodgers got made some moves. And then the Colorado Rockies, Minnesota Twins. There's a couple other teams I could have put on that list. Atlanta Braves, even the Oakland Athletics and the Miami Marlins all made moves. Now we're going to talk about that. Then we're also getting some NBA news off season, things that's happening so far as far as free agency goes. And then Team USA basketball. And then we're going to go around with NFL news. And then I want to kind of revisit this topic we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks with NFL and COVID, how that kind of seems to be, I don't know, seems to be a kind of an uncomfortable trend because, we're seeing some cases in the NFL, like for example, the Washington football team, they have now 7 cases. And I kind of want to look over at the kind of the specs and the rules of it all. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let me say I was shocked. I did not see this coming. Uh, a lot of great trades happened. So I'm going to start off with the Philadelphia Phillies. They got Freddie Galvez back, and we got a pitcher by the name of Tyler Bush. Freddie Galvez did pretty much everything he needed to do for his value. I really wasn't a fan of him being here. I just didn't really see the significance other than a veteranship and a cheap contract. Uh, the Pittsburgh Pirates acquired Michael Chavis in exchange for Austin Davis. Um, that's interesting. I like Michael in Boston as a first baseman. I think they were really sold on trying to get Anthony Rizzo. But Kyle Schwarber's there, and I know people kind of have some iffy uh, thoughts about him being traded because, one, I know he can't stay healthy, but not his back's nothing to sneeze at. The Toronto Blue Jays acquired Joe for 2 players to be named later. The Atlanta Braves got a big Rodriguez, Wilson, Ricky DeVito. The Atlanta Braves got a big outfield. College. The St. Louis Cardinals AJ Hatch for John Gant and Evan Sisk. Surprised that the Cardinals Sisk. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. Forgive me. I'm having some internet issues this evening. So that's straightened out. So that was actually pretty good. Really low. San Francisco did not give up the farm system the way I thought they would have. A low level prospect, and I think it was a good deal. So I think the Giants definitely won that trade for sure. The Rangers traded Kyle Gibson, Ian Kennedy, and Hans Kraus for Spencer Howard. Spencer Howard was a prospect for the Phillies, so I guess maybe they are looking at it from this standpoint. I know I understand he's 25, and I don't know. I guess maybe he just didn't pan out the way I think Philadelphia would have expected him to pan out, but it's neither here nor there. Javi Baez got his wish. He is playing alongside Francisco Lindor, along with Trevor Williams in exchange for Pete Crow Armstrong. The Oakland Athletics, they made some good significant moves. They got Josh Harrison and Yan Gomes for Drew Malias, Seth Schumann, and Richard Gosick. Significant moves. I know they didn't make another trade. They got let me look. Sterling Marte for Jesus Lazardo, which is kind of puzzling. You're only going to get a guy for 2 months. Derek, what's going on, bro? How you doing this evening? I'm also looking at, the Dodgers got Max Scherzer and Trey Turner for Hubert Royce, Josiah Gray, Donovan Casey, and Gerardo Colorado. Kyle Schwarber was going to Boston. Danny Duffy, the Los Angeles. Ryan Tepera to the White Sox. Cesar Hernandez to the White Sox. Brad Hens going to Toronto. Joey Gallo to the Yankees. Eduardo Escobar, that was a shocker. Traded to Milwaukee. Kendall Graveman, Rafael Montero for Joe Smith and Abraham Toro, which is kind of weird. The fact that Houston really didn't make any other significant moves because they traded Miles Straw. If I'm saying that correctly as well, let me check. I know they did trade. I think Miles was traded. Huh. Okay, I don't see it, but Nelson Cruz to Tampa Bay, Adam Frazier. The San Diego Padres didn't make any other significant moves, which is kind of disappointing. I see Pittsburgh's really just building up the farm system, which is great. The Chicago Cubs, man, had traded Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, all part of that championship team. It was bound to happen. Unfortunately, I feel bad for small market teams, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, your window to compete is short. I'd say it's at least 3 to 5 years, and this was just bound to happen. And I'm looking at the Cubs going forward. They got a bright young future. I like Ian Happ. I'm a fan of Patrick Wisdom. I also like Nico, the second baseman. Can't think of his name. Horner. Um, and then Contreras could possibly trade in the offseason. Like the Cubs they got some guys that they can definitely build for another core. So if you're Chicago, the future's looking bright. And I honestly really can't get mad at this. It's not like the Baltimore Orioles where they decided to trade Manny Machado and Zach Britton, Dan Duquette, and set the team up to fail for years and having to build the farm system from the bottom all the way to the top. And even though Michael Elias is doing this thing, it still leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Another kind of big trade. The Minnesota Twins got the first round pick, Austin Martin and Simeon Woods Richardson for Jose Barrios. I like it and I don't like it. I was expecting Byron Buxton to be traded here. He turned down a contract extension. From what I've been reading and what I've been hearing, he wants more money, and because of injuries and kind of he's getting. I believe he's going to be 28 this year, maybe 28, and with his injuries, nah, it's not worth it. Him and Josh Donaldson could possibly be traded in the offseason. Adam Duvall's reunited with the Braves. Alex Jackson, I'm really disappointed in him. I feel like at this point he's just a career minor leaguer ball player. I thought he would have been that guy about a couple seasons ago, but hasn't panned out the way I thought he would. Craig Kimbrell, in exchange for Nick Mandigal and Cody Heuer. Nick Mandigal, another Chicago White Sox prospect, just traded. But, they got Cesar Hernandez. So, like I said, the Chicago Cubs, they got some diamonds for sure for years to come. Now, I will say losers of this trade deadline for sure has to be the Colorado Rockies. Trevor Story will be a free agent this year. And if you're Colorado, what do you have to show for it? I think that to let the St. Louis Cardinals commit a highway robbery. Sean, what's good, bro? To commit a highway robbery of Nolan Arenado, and you really didn't get a lot for him. I mean, you didn't really get good prospects. And on top, and then to more, that's an insult. Here's your all-star shortstop, and he's going to be a free agent. You had an opportunity to get something for him. Now you didn't. We have to show for it. I have to say Houston. I would have liked to have seen some more moves with the Astros. I think they could use another bullpen guy. Personally, I'm looking at I like to know who the leadoff hitter is going to be. Now that I believe Miles Straw, I want to say, let me check with Miles Straw real quick. I believe he was traded. Yeah, he was traded. So I don't know who you're going to get. I don't know how that's going to work. But from what I also understand, he was not really the greatest person in the clubhouse. Well, he kind of was not happy about it, but this is a business. I'm looking at the Phillies. I like Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy, but they're not the same guys from 3-4 years ago. Yes, they did need rotation and bullpen help, but I'm looking at the numbers for Kyle Gibson, 2.8 of ERA is 2.8. Pitching numbers 3.75. His strikeouts per 9 ratio 7.4 to 1. Ranks 40th of pitchers in baseball according to this stat here. And It's not good. I don't like it. Now I will say definitely the Yankees won. Why? Because they got Gallo, Rizzo, and I think it also lets me know that the Yankees are going to move on from Luke Vogt. Because I know, again, injuries, and I believe he's 28, 29. So, and I think they're going to make a splash in the offseason for Trevor Story, because I think they've also given up on Gleyber Torres, in my opinion. The Dodgers, I mean, you got Danny Duffy, Max Scherzer, and Trey Turner. I mean, like, Dustin May's out for the season. Clarishaw's on the IR, and then Trevor Bauer's on administration leave. Just a side note: Sterling Castro was released by the Washington Nationals. I'm going to really pay close attention to see what the Major League Baseball, what the Dodgers are going to do with Trevor Bauer, because it's kind of the same. Well, domestic violence with Sterling Castro, but we don't have all the facts with that. But with Trevor Bauer, I would like to see what they're going to do with that. And then Corey Seager, I looked it up. He's only played 37 games this year. Cody Bellinger's played 45 and has been not playing that great at the plate. And then Mookie Betts is on the IR as well. And then I feel like, unfortunately, with Trey Turner's COVID diagnosis, I consider him an MVP candidate. The numbers 322, 369, and a 521 slash, an on-base percentage of 146, and then a 4.1 BA WAR. I think until Corey comes back, he'll definitely be the shortstop for sure. But I'm not sneezing at that. And I know Max will be a free agent, not this year, but next. No, so this year. Look at Spot Track. Yes, he's a free agent after this year, and then Trey has one more year for arbitration before he can go out there and look for some big money. So great trades. Like I said, I would love to have Nick Rosario on here and kind of break down more of the trades and to see where it goes. So let's see where it goes. Now that we're in the month of August, we have 2 months left of baseball, y'all. We got August and September. This is where it really counts. Let's see what the trades are doing. So far, so good. Like I said, Baez, Rizzo, Chris Bryant have all are on their new respective teams already showing out. So congratulations to everybody. Let's continue on with the season. So we're going to transition into a little bit of NBA. The NBA draft. A couple things that stood out to me. Let me this is just my personal opinion. I'm a fan of basketball. I love the game of NBA. I love the NBA. But the one and done, it's really kind of getting exposed. Because I just really feel like we have some guys, in my opinion, my personal opinion, that are not league ready. Like, when I mean like league ready, I think just because one season in college doesn't automatically say, well, you're an instant first round pick. Like, when I look at some of these guys, like, really none of these guys, I say, other than the first 5 picks. I like Zaire Williams out of Stanford. I like to see how he's going to be with the Pelicans. I like the pickup the Wizards got with Corey Casper out of Gonzaga, who I believe is a 3-point shooter. He's not the greatest defender, but if I'm looking at that lineup, he would be a complementary piece, but besides Beal, Rory, and Denny when he comes back. Now, let me say this. If you are like, okay, I will say this. I was shocked. The Spurs, right? They took Josh Primo at number 12. I feel like they could have took somebody else. Let me look at the draft one more time, and let's see who I would have taken. Moses Moody, Chris Dontart, Jalen Johnson, Keon Johnson. There were some other pieces they could have gotten. I like the Toronto Raptors in this as well. They got Scotty Barnes. I'm a fan of him. I think he's definitely gonna fit right well into that system. I was surprised. So this is how I had the first five. First, I had Kate Cunningham, Jalen Green, Mosby, and then Suggs. When they took Scotty Barnes, my mouth kind of instantly dropped. I was like, "What?" So, Patrick Williams went number 4 last year too. So he's a natural playmaker. He can definitely. I think he'll fit right with his athleticism. I think he'll fit very, very well in Toronto. I believe so. The Orlando Magic, man, they got Jalen Suggs. Like they got a piece for sure. Now, I don't know what this means for Markel. I think probably they'll keep Markel Fultz for sure. I can see Jalen Suggs probably playing the 2, but somebody will probably have to go because you got Anthony Cole, Markel, Michael Carter Williams, Terrence Ross, Chisholm Randall. You got a lot of somebody will have to go, unfortunately, and it probably will be Fultz, and it could probably be Carter Williams, and it could be Terrence Ross. So I don't see how that'll work. The Warriors. I would not like to see them make a move. I know that there was talk of Bradley Beal going to the Wizards. If you were watching the last episode 2, with Abs from Let's Talk Football, he had read it where they proposed trade for him. I like Moses Moody. I think Moses Moody is a great player. 6'6". I just feel like he definitely. I think he'll fit right alongside well with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. I think he'll do well. So big ups for sure. The 76ers, I would have liked to have seen Ben Simmons traded. I cannot stress this enough. I think Ben Simmons is a great player. I feel like it can work. And I feel like they can make it work, but we're going into years now, and we are still not. I just don't think he gets it. I don't think he gets. I think he's just a good player. He's not a great player, and until Ben Simmons realizes what the steps he needs to take to be a great player, this is what you're going to see from Ben Simmons, plain and simple. The Los Angeles Lakers got Russell Westbrook. Wasn't Bradley Beal and wasn't Dame Dollar, so. I'm actually kind of feeling great that we got rid of Russ. I like Russell Westbrook. I have nothing personal against him, but I just feel like it would. If we're going to commit to rebuilding, let's do it the right way. And like with the Lakers, my only concern is like you got LeBron, AD, like. I don't know which version of Russell Westbrook they're going to get. I don't know. I truly, truly don't know. We'll see. I will say surprise that this didn't happen. I thought he would have been a first round pick. To me, in my eyes, he felt like one. Uh, I really do. Hold on, let me find him. Where was he? Okay, now I will say this. Now I was mad we really traded. We had 2 picks, didn't we? Wait, give me a second. Hold on. Did we not have 2 picks? I feel like we had 2 first round picks. Well, okay, we did have the number. We had the 22nd pick. We got an Isaiah Jackson out of Kentucky, who I like, but then we got Aaron Holiday in the 31st pick, which is Isaiah Todd. Uh, I would like to see Bertans next because again, you give the guy that kind of money and the way he performed in this playoff against the Sixers was disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting. Uh, Surprise was Josh Gidley out of Australia. Um, we'll see how that looks. I never I don't know who he is. I know he came. I know he played with the 36ers, which is an Australian basketball team. But let me get to the surprise one that was really surprised. Sharif Cooper. I was really surprised he got drafted in the second round. I thought he would have been a late first round, early second round pick. Um, he was a great little point guard from Auburn. I don't know. Maybe I guess he could. To me, I feel like he could have benefited staying one more year at Auburn, but I mean, he did average 20 points, 8 assists. So, I mean, his sister was a second round pick, Tia, by the Phoenix Mercury. And the way they did her was kind of dirty, but now she's doing her thing with the Los Angeles Sparks. But I would have liked to have seen him definitely early, at least if not a late first round, early second round, easily. That's just my opinion. But overall, the draft looked good. I can't wait to see some of these guys. I can't wait to see Franz Wagner out of Michigan, Davion Mitchell, Baylor. I I can't wait to see some of these cats. I like some of these boys. I think you're going to see a different type of ball player for some of these guys this year. But again, like I just really feel like some of these guys could really benefit just one more year. I think at least 2 years. 2 years. Because I just feel like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I feel like at least 2 years they should benefit for school. And then I like the fact that the NBA drafted Terrence Clark, who unfortunately died in a car accident back in April. That was really great. It was really good. The last time we saw that was Isaiah Austin, who had something to do with like it's a genetic disorder that affects like I want to say, let me find it. Marfan syndrome. It's a genetic disorder that affects the connective tissue. Those with the condition tend to be tall, thin, with long arms, fingers, and toes. Those typically have overflexor joints and sclerosis. Yeah, so that unfortunately kept him out the league, and I believe he was trying to make a comeback and play, but it didn't happen. So, NBA news. Let's get into that real quick. So, Andre Iguodala, the Miami Heat, they declined his player option, so he's a free agent. So I know the Golden State Warriors, I know they've been looking at signing him. Goran Dragic, they picked up his option. So I know that they're probably going to trade him. They're going to see what they can get back on. Probably they're going to do a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry. Kawhi Leonard did the same thing. but they're saying he's expected to negotiate a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. I feel like DeMar DeRozan, ladies and gentlemen, would be a good fit. I think that they need like a big three. Okay, I feel like LeBron. I think the Lakers got what they need. They needed a point guard because I don't think Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Kuzma were not the answers. They just don't fit LeBron's style of. They don't fit his style of play. I think LeBron wants guys he can push around. That's just my personal opinion. The Lakers are interested in signing Carmelo. The Knicks are also connected to sign Carmelo as well. Spencer Dinwiddie, Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier and the Boston Celtics cannot come to an agreement. Evan Fournier is looking at his price range about $80 million for 5 years. I feel like he's worth 74, 70 easily, in my opinion. Josh Hart and Lonzo Ball are both going to become restricted free agents. So what a restricted free agent is, if, for example, Lonzo Ball, right? So if Lonzo signs with the New York Knicks for $80 million, okay, the Pelicans have to match that, and whatever deal Lonzo takes, he'll take. Chris Paul, he declined his option. I do kind of see him staying with Phoenix, but I also kind of see where. I mean, I don't really know any other destination he could go, but he'll probably most likely stay in Phoenix, which is great. Bobby Portis declined his $3.8 million player option to become a free agent, so he's looking. I told you he's going to look to get paid. Boston traded Moses Brown to the Mavericks for Josh Richardson, which is a good little pickup for Boston. Avery Bradley is going to be a free agent as well. He declined. The team option was declined by the Rockets. I think the Rockets are just going in a complete different direction. They're just starting all over, starting from scratch. I was reading this article on Bleacher Report. Let me find it. It said it's five blockbuster trades that will blow up the 2021 NBA free agency. So the first one I said would be DeMar DeRozan. So they would do a sign and trade. So the Clippers would get DeMar DeRozan, and the Spurs would get Luke Kennard, Patrick Beverley, and Terrence Mann. That's interesting. Now, it's not taking into account that the team's salary it could exceed no more than 100. I'll round that up, $139 million. DeMar DeRozan's deal, and then how much of the salary does the Spurs and the Clippers split? Okay, and then obviously Kawhi declined his player option. Serge Ibaka picked up his player option. I mean, I feel like DeRozan could take a discount, but I think at this point, I don't think DeRozan. I know for a fact, I don't think he wants to be in San Antonio. Okay, I think DeMar DeRozan wants to be on a team where it's championship. I think he's just looking to be on a championship team. The Chicago Bulls land Lonzo Ball. Again, this is another one, a sign and trade. And the Pelicans would get Kobe White and Thomas Satoransky. I mean, the only thing is that Kobe White still has 2 more years on his rookie deal. Satoransky's a good little off the bench guy, no problems there. But I mean, Lonzo did come off one a good year, 14 points a game, 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. Nothing wrong with that. There's another one here. The Kings give John Collins the max sign and trade. And then in exchange, Atlanta Hawks would get Tyrese Haliburton and Melvin Bagley III. I know they were trying to shop Cam Reddish during the draft, and that didn't happen. So that's the one thing, again, I don't like about free agency. And again, small markets. You have to pick and choose, unfortunately, who you're going to sign. And some guys, like again, Atlanta John Collins, maybe his price tag, Atlanta probably cannot afford, and that's tough. But you want to make sure, okay, if we're going to do this, we got to get something in return. Ben Simmons joins LaMelo Ball in Charlotte. Okay, so the Hornets would receive Ben Simmons, and the Sixers would get Terry Rozier, PJ Washington, Devontae Graham via a sign and trade, and a 2024 first round pick, lottery protected. Oh Lord! Now these are just trade ideas, people. These are not actual trades. I want to emphasize it. These are not actual trades. These are just proposals. And then Kyle Lowry takes over point guard duties in Boston. The Celtics would get Kyle Lowry in a sign and trade, and the Raptors would get Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, and Romeo Langford. Huh. Interesting. Well, it didn't talk about Russell Westbrook or Bradley Beal. So I'm honestly not mad at that. I'd say probably the only realistic trade that could happen is probably the Kyle Lowry, maybe the Lonzo Ball one. I don't really see really much. Honestly, like Evan Fournier probably most likely will walk. I think all those trades we got. I think the kind of unrealistic one would be kind of Charlotte. I know that the Hornets, they're kind of moving on from Malik Monk, and I don't know. I mean, all those trades are great. The Boston one, the Chicago one, those feel realistic. Those feel realistic. So let's dive into Team USA basketball. I'm gonna start with the women. Yeah. This was actually I was not expect. I was actually kind of expecting it to be more of a blowout, but I will say this: Japan kind of hung in there. The final score was 86-69. Yeah, I was kind of really honest, expecting more. So now we play France, the women. I mean, it really, like I said, nobody. I think the tallest player on the Chinese team was 6'1", 6'2". So no, sorry, Japan. I apologize, not China. I apologize, Japan. The tallest player was 6'1". I'm looking at the box score right here. Asia Wilson had 20 points. Brianna Stewart had 15. They're just mismatches, ladies and gentlemen. Complete mismatches. Like Brittany Griner, 6'9", and like I said, the tallest player was 6'1". I will point this out. One observation I did point out was the ability that Japan had. They to consistently get us off the dribble. Hey, Lucinda, how you doing? Good to see you. That was really, really actually surprisingly well. And they got to the basket and scored early, especially when we couldn't hit shots. At one point, I believe the first quarter, after one quarter, the score is 30-28. But then, the next 10 minutes, it was the United States playing defense. And then at halftime, we were up by 9. And look at the box score here. Meki Takada had 15 to lead the Japan. Sue Bird definitely struggled. She's definitely struggled from the field in the first 2 games. I did the numbers here, my notes here. She's missed 13 shots. And her first 3 shots before having, and then I think she had a 3 that rolled. And then yeah, it kind of rolled in and then it came out. She missed it. But I will say that she's making it up with her floor game, where she's dishing the ball off, where she's making good passes. I would say she's making it up for that. But Skylar, I didn't know that Skylar Diggins did not play. From what I understood, she got a little banged up before, I guess, during practice. So other stat I wanted to point out, there was a combined 25 turnovers, and the United States had 17 of those. We gotta cut down the turnovers. And then disgustingly, I shouldn't use that word. Japan shot a horrendously bad, which is terrible from the 3-point line. They only made 10 threes out of 38. That was kind of hard to watch. Honestly, I would not have taken that many threes, but when you just you gotta think, you gotta come up with a better strategy than that. I mean, 38 threes and you only made 10 of those. No, gotta stop. I know Japan faces Nigeria tomorrow, and then we play France. We both finish out to play the group, so that should be good to watch. The men beat the Czech Republic. That was actually kind of I don't want to use the word blowout, but that was a good game though. It was kind of an interesting game to watch. Kevin Durant led the team in scoring, 23. So he's actually now surpassed Melo in points as a career-leading scorer for the USA Basketball. Melo had 336, and now KD has 354. Now, I will say this: in the first half, the Czech Republic, those guys kept it close in the first half. But again, defensively, we turned it up, and we really, really began like the team. Like I've been trying to tell y'all, this team, give it time, and it's going to come together. It's going to come together. Like everybody after they lost to France and Nigeria.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Then we came back and we beat Iran. We scored 120 points on them, and then, like I said, like Jason Tatum had 27. Zach LaVine had 13. I'm like at the box score. Drew Holiday, 11 points. Like this, like I'm telling y'all, like give these guys time to just grow. I mean, like to get it together, and you're going to see great things from them. Like same thing with Greg Popovich. I mean, just give it time. Like this expectation, like we got to come out and expect to win. No, like it doesn't work like that. God, I saw in this game, and they play Spain. Everyone should be paying attention to the United States versus Spain. That's where it's going to me, and I really want to see how these boys are going to really look against the Spanish. Because them boys, I'm telling you, I like Marc Gasol. I think Luis Scola. I think Pau Gasol's on this team as well. Let me look. They lost to Savonia, Spain, today as well. And Luka Doncic, he's he's a star. He's a star. Ricky Rubio, like this Spain team is nothing to sneeze at. It honestly and truthfully is not. So we're 16-2 against Spain. The last time we won was back in 2016, which was 82-76. And then the gold medal game We won by 7. The final score was 107 to 100. And then back in 2008, we won 118 to 107. I'm looking at it right here. So the other quarterfinal groups, Group A, France is 3-0. They're going to face Italy. Second place, Group B. Group B winner, Australia, plays Argentina. They're 1-2. Third place in Group C. Group C winner, Slovenia, drew a matchup with Germany, 1-2 in Group B, their second place. So whoever wins the Italy and France game is going to play the winner of the Slovenia and Germany game for one semifinal final. And whoever wins between us and Spain will either play Australia and Argentina. And these are win and go homes. So this is where it counts. So I'm really going. This is going to be a really great quarterfinals. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Congratulations to the Team USA women and men and women's basketball. Okay, I'm back. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having some internet difficulties. I do apologize. Let me just look at it real quick. Again, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the internet the internet issues I'm having this evening. I do apologize. So congratulations to Team USA basketball. We're going to just wrap it up around the NFL news. So nothing really happening. I got the chance to see, not in person, but I got to kind of hear the ins and outs with the Baltimore Ravens' first practice in front of fans at M&T Bank. A couple people did stand out. Definitely one, James Poche. Without Lamar there due to COVID, I think they're doing really well. We finally got Justin Houston, much needed. I don't know what took so damn long. I would have liked to have seen us also get Melvin Ingram, but I know we can't have everybody. Let's see. Let me look at see what else we got here in the news. Nick Chubb got a 3-year deal, 3-year extension worth $36 million. $20 million of that's guaranteed. Carson Wentz, he's going to miss some time because I believe it's a foot injury. So they got to think about some quarterbacks who they can sign. So I got a couple of ideas in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So one, Okay. Nick Foles. Y'all gonna hate me for that one. I think he'd be definitely a good little pickup because he was a former quarterback. And when Frank Wright was in Philadelphia, he was there. Okay. Marcus Mariota. He comes to mind because I felt like he was due. I think he was just they did him dirty in Tennessee. I feel like they didn't give him the opportunity I felt like he should have gotten. And then I got to say Mitchell Trubisky. Listen, I like him in Buffalo, but I feel like he was drafted to a team that we know front office wise is dysfunctional. This is the same team that just drafted Justin Fields. So those are just some ideas I think that they got to look at for sure. And I hope Carlson gets well. I'm going to revisit this. Going to be the last topic. Devontae Freeman got a 1-year deal with the Saints. Interesting. I think he adds some great depth to it, but we'll see. Like I said, we got Justin Houston. I saw some other significant moves. I'm trying to find it real quick. Please forgive me. Oh, and then Xavier Howard. So apparently now he wants to work something out with the team. He's considering that he's like, well, let's give them the opportunity to make this work. First, Xavier Howard is a great corner. He's one of the best in the game. But to me, like you had a 5-year deal worth $76 million and 40, I believe 43 that's guaranteed. Now your counterpart on the other side, Byron Jones got 80. I think it's like $80 million. Like we all know we all know what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to be the man. He wants to be the highest paid player. Up until last year, he was the highest paid corner. Now that's Byron Jones. And Xavier feels some type of way about that. But see, we're putting ourselves before the team. The Dolphins have something really good going forward for the next few years. And again, like I said, that type of mentality, that's what hurts a team. That's what sets the team back. So I'm curious to see where it goes. He'll stay in Miami. I'm hoping the Dolphins can work it out. But I don't like the way he came out and made it seem like, well, they're not respecting my wishes of this and that. But you signed the contract. You didn't have to sign it. That's what bothers me. You didn't have to you didn't have to sign the extension. You signed it at the time because you were the highest paid corner. But once Byron came into Miami and he's the highest paid corner, I kind of sense some jealousy. Like I should be the highest paid corner, not him. But that's neither here nor there. Really? Click. Come on. There you go. Because it's just having internet issues, and I have a feeling it's going to go out. So this is the last topic of the night. I want to start off with this. I want to give my thoughts and prayers to Troy Polamalu, who tested positive for COVID-19. A couple other guys that had to sit out due to COVID protocol from the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins. Make sure I have this right. And all three quarterbacks, Kellen Mond, due to COVID-19 protocols. What do y'all want me to say? I'm not going to make this assumption if they were vaccinated or not. But the fact that, let me do this. I can show you better than I can tell you. Because a couple players from the Washington football team now, I believe they're at 7 COVID cases, and they're one of the lowest vaccinated team in about the league. Where is it? Actually, NFL COVID. So let me share my screen. Yo, what's going on, Sean? What's going on? I want to get to the part where it talked about. Hold on. Because he had it kind of simplified. Here we go. This is it. I found it, ladies and gentlemen. So these are the testing requirements for training camp and preseason if you're vaccinated versus fully vaccinated. So according to the league, fully vaccinated means 14 days the past individual's last dose of the applicable vaccine, whether it's Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, or Moderna. Okay. Now, you have the pre-entry. This is vaccinated. Okay. So pre-entry testing. So beginning with the start of training camp, all tier 1 individuals, including players, and tier 2 individuals who are not fully vaccinated or entering the club facility for the first time must undergo the following entry testing. So you got day 1, the Mercer testing, and the BRL PCR testing. May not enter the club facility until a negative test. Day 2 thereafter with the Mercer test may not enter the facility until a negative test. That means you have to quarantine. So testing thereafter, Mercer testing every day until there's a negative result. So you have 5 days of consistent testing. This is for not fully vaccinated players. Okay, we need to say that again. These guys have to, though they're not vaccinated, 5 consecutive days of 2 types of testing for making sure you test negative for COVID-19. Okay, now fully vaccinated, tryout, street free agent players acquired from other teams, waivers, trades, sign off, and other clubs practice squad. These individuals must test once every 14 days a player's own day of the club's choosing during the weeks they're entering the club facility. Again, not vaccinated players, tryouts, free agents, players coming from other teams, same thing. 5 consecutive days of testing. Not vaccinated tier 3 individuals. 1 negative Mercer test before entering the club's facility, and then testing thereafter, 1 testing per week. Now, this also gets into steroids, but there's some other things that and you didn't talk watching. Sure, I got you, Sean. There's a couple other things that I took note of. Let me find it. Let me show y'all, because this was actually kind of really honestly and truthfully very, very disgusting in my opinion. So this is from Tom Pelissero. So this is what the NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to for the COVID-19 protocols. Okay. Fully vaccinated. I'm going to read it off just like from vaccinated, non-vaccinated. Fully vaccinated. No daily testing required. Masks are not required at the club facility or during team travel. No physical distancing required in club facility with other vaccinated individuals. No quarantining required after high risk of exposure to COVID. No travel restrictions. No capacity limits in weight rooms when all fully vaccinated. May eat in dining hall. I don't say cafeteria. With other fully vaccinated individuals. No restrictions on social medias, marketing, or sponsorship opportunities. May use sauna or steam room. May interact with vaccinated family friends during team travel. Non-vaccinated. Testing is required every day. Masks required. Must be physically, socially distant from others in the facility. Must quarantine after high exposure to COVID. Travel restrictions in effect. 15-player limit in rate room. Players must be physically distant in meal room. Excuse me. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. May not eat with teammates. Staff must grab and go, no meals in the dining hall. May not use sauna or steam room. May not leave team hotel to eat in restaurants and may not interact with anyone outside of team traveling party during team travel. Do you see the? Do you see the that's a little uncomfortable for me, even though people, unfortunately, there's some guys that are vaccinated and can still get COVID. I'm still doing the research. Everyone's saying that it's not. The numbers are very low comparing to those that haven't been vaccinated. But I'm going to bring in Sean Spencer, who is the leader one half of the dynamic duo. Let's talk ball.
Yo.
What's going on, Sean?
What up, Nate? I can't hear you. My bad.
Can you hear me now?
Tried it. Big Nate, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Sean? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, bet. Yeah, man. Let me say, man. First and foremost, you documented it clearly. I'm pissed. I'm sorry if that's a little out there, but I'm ticked off. You and I talked about this. We talked about this. You sitting out here, you know what I mean? You have no excuse. And I'm speaking about the Washington team. You have no excuse to be sitting out here and not doing it. Now you see what happened? We got flooded with this. Deron Payne is the most recent one. You heard about Ioannidis. You heard about Curtis Samuel. This is ridiculous. Now, I will say, I'm glad that's happening now. Maybe it'll be that culture shock for him. Yeah, maybe that'll be that shock for him. But at the same time, Nate, I don't want to say this, but I do. You can't fix stupid. Okay?
Unfortunately, I mean,
if you're out here and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with all the knowledge and all the things that we have, you got to be kidding me right now.
Well, and it's like you said. The old saying is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force the horse to drink it.
Absolutely.
Like I said, unfortunately, we have all of these. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's so much information. I feel like, if there's resources to understand the vaccines, all that. And unfortunately, I blame, the media. I blame the
What's up?
I just blame those that, and unfortunately, have this platform like you and I to manipulate and kind of deceive people and from right from wrong. I just look at it like this. Like we're like I'm not the type of person to go like, are you vaccinated or you're not vaccinated? Listen, it's your choice. But understand, when you make a choice, it comes with consequences. Like regardless, like for me, if I'm I just read it off. Like if you're fully vaccinated, like they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
And to me, like regardless if I'm fully vaccinated, I'm still cautious. Like,
right.
Like you said, Payne was a recent example from Washington. Like, I don't know what these guys are doing, but these guys that are not vaccinated, they can't do anything. They are like in confinement. Like they can't leave a hotel room. They can't even go to a restaurant. They can't even sit in a dining hall or a restaurant with their teammates. And that's kind of like shunning. Like unfortunately, like in school, like we're like the one kid that will always get picked on or will always be left out of events, not invited to birthday parties, for example. Like that's what it feels like to me with these guys that are not vaccinated. I'm just saying that there needs to be a better system with these guys. Yeah. Okay, if you choose not to get vaccinated, okay. I just said that 5 consecutive days of testing compared to a fully vaccinated player only get tested once.
Right.
Like, and I know some people are saying, well, you can still get it fully vaccinated. Well, like again, I don't know all the facts. I'm still doing the research. But what I've been reading so far is that some people are saying you're less likely to get it as a fully vaccinated person.
Right. Right. But, okay. Again, like you said, yes, you can still get it. Okay. It could still happen. This is something that is going to help you to prevent you getting it. And it's going to help to prevent you spreading it all over the place. But at the end of the day, man, and I know you've documented this, we talked about not just in football, we have other situations with Sheree Richardson and the Olympics and not necessarily with not necessarily with vaccinations, but just in the sense of if this is the rule, if this is what the guidelines have set up, you look at the Josh Gordon situation, you know what I mean, with smoking, if the rule is you cannot do it or said will happen, you need to abide by that. If I'm on my job, I can't go in there and just light up a J and be like, boom, boom. No, they're going to be like, no, I'm sorry, you're gone. And they're not paying me what these guys are getting. Yeah. I respect this is my body, my choice. And it's convenient. It's very convenient that my body, my choice comes out right about now. But that's a story for the day.
Right.
It's just very interesting to me because you have something that's already been proven as far as COVID. It's already proven to have done so much damage. Okay. Now there's something that's out here that could potentially help you. And for a human, as for a person, me and you, yes. Okay. That's our choice. If I don't do it, it's not going to affect me any different outside of potentially getting in this and that. But if you have a job and your employer has told you this is what it is, you cannot, you have to abide by these rules, or like you stated, you have to get tested every day. You can't be in there with X amount of people in the weight room and gym. You can't go X amount of places. Even if you're not for it, you still need to be doing every bit of research. And I think that's exactly what you said. You think that's what's lacking, is that these people are so, I have a stance over here, I have a stance over here, but you're not going through and actually doing the research. And if you are doing the research, this is a decision you have to make. This is my job. And on my job, they're saying I need to do this or there are going to be consequences. They're not going to fire you right out, but they will sit there and say you have to go through these necessary protocols. So, I mean, the decision to me becomes, all right, well, if my job is saying this, the least I'm going to do is go dive in to do the research. But if this is what's going to help me, right. But if this is going to help me and my team, come on now. You know what I mean? And God forbid it's somebody like we found, Lamar tested positive. God forbid it's somebody like him, because the NFL can't handle that. Let's be honest. If a Lamar gets it and is out, or Patrick Mahomes, God forbid Tom Brady, Mr. Invincible, if he gets it, watch how those numbers change. Okay?
Good point.
You know,
Well,
hey,
Lamar Jackson, this is his second time unfortunately getting it twice, and
right.
unfortunately, again, like I'm not going to judge him. Thoughts and prayers. Hope he's doing well. He can't participate for 10 days, and
Right.
unfortunately, like when you come back from what I've observed, like in the NBA Finals with Chris Paul, like he was a little bit rusty because he was in COVID protocol.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys will come back rusty. But I want to play a quick clip. This is a Mike Zimmerman, of the head coach from the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmerman had the same thing with the Vikings. There's a lot of vaccination hesitancy. But keep in mind, they had 3 guys, all 3 quarterbacks, could not participate in practice due to COVID protocols.
Yeah.
So let me play this clip real quick. This is Mike Zimmer, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm disappointed that this happened. I'm frustrated with not just my football players that won't get vaccinated. I'm frustrated with everybody. So we'll just do the best we can, and it's disappointing. You can see the cases going up every single day now, and that's why, for the sake of everybody's health, I think it's important. But some people don't understand, I guess.
So, and Nate, I don't know if you have. Do you have the Coach Ron Rivera's clips?
Let me look. I know I was trying to look for it in the other episode, but I couldn't find it. But I know it was. I was looking at the Washington football team's YouTube channel for the clip, and I could not find it within the whole, because it was a whole 17-minute press conference.
Yeah.
But he said the same thing that Mike Zimmer said, that he's not really.
So essentially he said he's beyond frustrated. Yeah. He said, and he spoke about himself, and I think that's what people need to do. They need to make it personal. And you've talked about it. I've talked about it on Washington Football Weekly about how all the issues that we had last year with cancer, with Ron Rivera having cancer, and now he's immune deficient. And so you have these situations where he's easily susceptible. He can easily get, and it's just like, Nate, you'll understand this. It's like he just got out of the woods.
He just got.
You know what I mean? Like, come on now. And I got to shout out controversial comedian Mike Rappaport, who sat there and called us out. I don't know if you saw that video, Nate. I didn't play it on the show because the language. Yeah, the language is too much. But he was like, "You guys are jokes. This is a joke. Last year you were talking about, oh, we're doing it for coach. We're doing it for coach. And now look at you. Now you're not doing it for coach. Now it's about you and yours." So you give people a little bit of success sometimes, and they forget about certain things. Man, it. I've talked about it multiple times. I'm ticked off.
Yes,
I personally am, because
I'm
honestly,
surprised you didn't go off on T.J. Ward and his comments about Ron Rivera.
And now I'm gonna tell you why. Because I saw them. I saw what you said on your show, and I played your clip. Yeah, and I didn't read as much into the whole T.J. Ward thing, so I didn't want to, say it and not be accurate with what I was saying.
Well, would you like me to go over those what he said about?
Yes.
Okay, so let me pull that up real quick.
One thing I do know is it was diarrhea of the mouth. All right.
It was it was just, it made no sense. So unfortunately he deleted the tweets, but
it's a Nathan Snell original.
Let me see.
Hey, bear with me, Nate. I don't know if my phone's gonna die or not. I'm trying to plug it in right now.
Oh, go ahead and do your thing. You're fine. Okay, so these are the thoughts from former defensive back T.J. Warren. So Bleachers Report Gridiron, which is definitely check them out. Bleachers Report, shout out to them. Where you said, Sean, he's beyond frustrated that so many Washington players are unvaccinated, and then TJ responds under it by saying, "Just park the riverboat. His health is beyond of COVID. Maybe it's time to let it go. Don't blame the players for your lifelong health decisions." Okay, at some point, you got to pay for them vices. Cancer runs in my family like many American families, but also bad diets and cigarettes do as well. Accept responsibility. Don't blame and be disappointed in your 23-year-olds because they have their own bodies and opinions about their health. Then he responds even more. This is on his Twitter. Well, this was his Instagram, excuse me. Y'all be on here getting mad for anything. Can't think for yourselves, and you damn sure don't do no damn research. Y'all got an issue with what I said? Come ask me about it. I know cancer, so before you talk that bullshit, and furthermore, how do you expect to have somebody to have empathy for your situation when you refuse to have it for where other people stand? Continue on though. That's psychotic. Unempathetic by the exact definition, and selfish, but I'm wrong. Fuck out of here. Now, then he came back, Sean, with more comments. Let me pull those up real quick. Because that what I just read, Sean, he deleted that like right after because everyone went off on him. So again, this was a few days later. Going to address this one more time. I was not trying to be insensitive to anyone affected by cancer. I know you don't get to choose cancer, and I tried to clear that up, which he did not. If you know me in my career, you know what my support is for cancer and people dealing with it. I've been affected. Seeing how long. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, sorry. It cut off. Wrong one.
Good.
No, there's one more. I've been affected myself closely, and I didn't mean to offend you. God bless. So, those were his comments about Riverboat Ron. And unfortunately, to me, it was one of those, well, if you don't like it, shut up and quit your job. That's what I took away from it. You know,
you know what? Yo, shout out to Nathan Snell because, if you haven't seen that last episode when Nathan went off on my man, Nathan, that's where that diarrhea over the mouth comment came from.
Exactly, because
you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Like, it's BS. It's complete BS. And first and foremost, you don't need to talk about anybody that had cancer. I don't care if your whole family had it or this and that. And don't misconstrue those comments. I'm saying I not that I don't care personally that you had it, but I'm saying you don't ever talk about somebody and say, "Oh, your decisions made the reason why you had this." No, that's not how you. That's first and foremost. You should have backtracked that immediately. But then, secondly, listen. I understand these are 23-year-olds and this is my body, my choice, all that stuff. Yes, that's fine. But he has a job to do. He did his job while he was in the locker room last year getting IVs because of cancer, taking care of his team. So now all of a sudden they are individuals. Right. He took a 3-13 team to almost double their victories and won the division. Are you serious right now? You're going to talk about what he had and his stuff going on in his life? That's first and foremost, that's none of your business. But secondly, he has a job to do. And he is following the guidelines of the job that he's doing. That's number one. And that's for a normal person. But now let's go to number two. The fact that he is even more susceptible to this. Come on. Look, I get you want to make a point. I get you want to have one stance or the other stance. But and the fact that he said, "Oh, you do your research and this and that," you do your research, okay? This man has gone through this stuff, and you are sitting here saying, "Oh, let's side with the 23-year-olds." What are we gonna do if something happens to Coach?
Good point.
And not even just Coach, but anybody.
Anyone.
Like, I mean, God, is he gonna say that same thing if it happens to Chase Young? If it happens to Terry McLaurin? You know what I mean? Like, you got it. People just go. They just blah that way. Diarrhea in the mouth. They just say blah, 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 blah. But you're not thinking the full picture. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, Nate, you and I, we do what we do, okay? At the end of the day, we have our own decisions. We have to take care of X, Y, and Z. Yes, that's fine. I get that.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to agree with everything you do. You're not going to agree with everything I do. But at the end of the day, when we see the situations like what we went through last year, when we deal with what that stuff that we went through last year, my fiance had COVID. My fiance was in the hospital for 4 flipping days, ladies and gentlemen. So don't tell me to do my research. Come to me when you're next to the hospital bed. Come to me when they're talking about ventilators. I don't want to hear this mess, man. I don't want to hear it because you know what's more than money? Life.
Amen.
And there's over 4 million people around this world that are not here and don't have that luxury to hear us sit here and say this. So you know what, TJ, if you want to go out and do your business, hey, and people are going to follow you. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But nah, don't speak about me and mine. Don't speak about Coach and what he survived and what he's trying to build with everything. And I didn't even mention Dan Snyder. You know that. You talked about that on your show so many times.
Dan Snyder.
I haven't even mentioned Dan Snyder and on all his nonsense that Coach had to deal with as well.
And I was very disappointed, especially with those comments from TJ. I didn't really see no players. I didn't see a Chase Young, a Montez. I didn't even see Dan Snyder. I didn't see no one really came to his defense because those comments, like, whoa, wait a minute, guy. Like you said, this guy just got over a bout of cancer. You know, same like it's insensitive. Like again, like I said, he didn't, like you said, he didn't have to coach last year. He could have said, you know what, I'm done. Carlos Carrasco, when he was with the Cleveland baseball team, he didn't have to he didn't have to come back and play. Trey Mancini just came off colon cancer, and look at the injury that he's been having. These guys, they go through a lot, and they do something that they love every day. Ron Rivera loves to be a coach. Trey Mancini loves to be a baseball player. So does Carlos Carrasco, the guard from Syracuse that just graduated. She was drafted. She was in the WNBA. She got signed a contract with Phoenix. Tiana, I can't pronounce her last name, but she's from Australia. Cancer survivor. Like, they've been through so much. Jessica Breland. Like, and it's not just with cancer, but it's with any type of sickness that anyone may have. And the fact that we're not thinking about their health. Like, what if that was your loved one? I'm just saying, like, if you are just not comfortable, do the research. You have a doctor, physicians that are still learning, because we're all learning this stuff together as this COVID-19 has progressed. Because again, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of really curious to see what's going to happen this month and going to September with this new variant, because it just seems to just be really kind of starting to really kind of raise eyebrows. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And with football, I know everything's supposed to be 100% capacity. And that may change. But the fact
I'm not ready for that.
I just don't think we're ready. Not right now. But unfortunately, I think we're all, I hate to use this, I don't want to use COVID fatigue, because unfortunately we've been all sitting in our homes respectively for damn near 14 months. And I just think, again, COVID has done a lot. And give another year or two, you're really going to see the effects of COVID. What it's done to us socially, economically, politically, education, all that, healthcare, all of it. You're going to see the effects of what COVID has done. You're already starting to see this stuff now. But wait till that dust storm clears. But let me get back on track. With TJ Ward's comments, we're flat out of bounds. Look at the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer was pissed. You can look at his face. I mean, the glasses, you didn't have to look at. You can look at his face. He's always had cherry red cheeks, but that's besides the point. But the fact that you didn't have 3 quarterbacks in practice today, last year, the Broncos.
Yep.
Like,
Nathan. Sometimes in life, man. It's you said it. You said it here earlier. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't force him to drink. You know what I mean? So sometimes with people, they can see things right in front of their face, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do me.
Unfortunately, it's really scary, because I'm really hoping that we get through these 17 games for football, but I don't know, man. Like, I have concerns.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I really have concerns.
Unfortunately, it's going to take somebody. You can take that. Unfortunately, it's going to take somebody prominent going down from this. And I'm not, Lamar should already be. The fact that Lamar is dealing with this should already be a big thing. But fortunately it's going to take somebody like a Tom Brady. Somebody that's just the name of the league, the face of the league. It's going to take him getting it. And that's, I mean, and it might not even take that, be honest with you, because there's certain people that are just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not da-da-da-da. We heard Cole Beasley's. I don't know if you heard that interview, Cole Beasley's address to the media. Unfortunately, it's going to take that, man.
Hold on, wait a minute. What did he say? Drops bizarre anti-vaxxer diss track after pro-choice rant. What the heck?
Who is that?
Cole Beasley. He dropped a rap.
No, he didn't. Well, not what I saw. It wasn't a rap. It was essentially him. You got to listen to the interview because I wouldn't do it justice. Well, at least I didn't see it was a rap. I don't know.
Wait a minute. I'm not anti-vax, but I'm anti-vax. Press conference was quite a train wreck. Oh God.
It was interesting. I listened to like the first 5 minutes of it and I was like, come on, bro. Because it was almost contradicting. Like he was saying, I'm not against that, but I am kind of against that because I don't feel like they're telling us everything. And I'm like, then do your own research, man. Like you an NFL player, you have all this stuff at your fingertips. You can't tell me you can't do your own research and talk to somebody in the medical field. You know what I mean?
Do you think we should share it for the viewers?
I have not seen it fully, so that's your call. But I'd watch it first.
You know what I'll do? I will drop
the link. Yeah.
This is Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
I will drop this and I will actually post this real quick. But I'm also going to put it in the link down in the description once this video is finished.
Okay. But Nate, hey, I appreciate you putting me on. I needed to vent. I needed to come out and say that because I'm ticked off. We talked about it on Watch Football Weekly. I can't
wait to see what you're going to say on Wednesday because I know y'all got some things to say.
I'm done. It's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
I was really surprised, like again with Abs and Will, and I know unfortunately Antoine's dealing with a situation. Many thoughts and prayers for him. But I really want to see everybody's reaction Wednesday with these cases. I know, like, with Washington, and then and I don't know.
Yo, after the 2 years that we've had, after going 3-13 2 years ago, and then having the year that we had last year, where we started off so awfully and then rallied at the end of the year, you know what I mean? You're a closet Washington fan. We'll accept you into the fold, but there was excitement.
Yes, there was.
We absorbed the whole COVID thing. We got past that. We got past our owner. We got past losing our top 2 running backs in the beginning last year. 4 quarterbacks, beat the undefeated Steelers. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Chase Young, defense rookie of the year. Let's go. Blah blah blah. And you've seen us week in and week out of this offseason, hyped, getting ready for this. And we talked about. We said injuries are one thing, but you can't control COVID. You talked about it earlier about when these guys come back from COVID, they're not the same. Lamar, look at his first game back. He didn't look like himself.
I mean, again, no.
I mean, Cam Newton more. Yeah.
Takes you at least like a few weeks to get not a few days to kind of get yourself back on track for sure. Like,
right. But you're not game ready.
No, you're not.
You know what I mean?
You're not.
Yeah.
So
hey, Nate,
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you rocking me on. I had to vent, man.
Hey, listen, you're welcome on here anytime, brother. Anytime.
You already know, man. You already keep doing your thing, baby boy.
I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, Sean. Thank you. My name is Sean Spencer, ladies and gentlemen. So, to wrap this up, let's do the research, y'all. Just be safe, be mindful. And we can beat this thing, but it takes a village, and it takes a community to all do our part. And with that being said, I'm going to close it out by saying this: the Baltimore Orioles have been looking really good. We unfortunately lost tonight to the Detroit Tigers, 2-6. We're 37-67 on the year. We play those Yankees tomorrow. The couple of things I've taken from this so far, the Orioles have actually been looking pretty good since the All-Star break. I think the All-Star break was much needed. Needed an Energizer Bunny. As far as the future goes with this team, I'm still looking at Mike Elias. I think Mike Elias is definitely building for the future. I have said it. I didn't think that the Baltimore Orioles were going to be the worst team. And I thought the Pirates. I looked at Arizona's roster. I'm surprised Kentel Marte was not traded. I'm looking at a couple other guys that was not traded. Sean Armstrong was traded to Tampa for some cash, but I was surprised. Like I said, your building blocks are Means and Mullins and probably Mancini, but I'm looking at it going forward. This team is on the up and coming. It's on the up and coming for sure. Kumar Rocker did not sign with the New York Mets. The Mets did not decided not to sign him, which is weird. So from what I'm understanding, because the deal fell apart because of his physical examinations of his arm, ladies and gentlemen, which was kind of weird. His agent Scott Boras refuted the claim and said that basically like the Mets know what they're talking about. Kumar's healthy. This was what he said, quote, Kumar Rocker is healthy according to an independent medical review by multiple prominent baseball orthopedic surgeons. Immediately upon conclusion of his collegiate season, he had an MRI on both his shoulder and elbow. When compared to his 2018 MRIs, the medical experts found no significant changes. He requires no medical attention, will continue to pitch in the regular course as he prepares to begin his professional career. So he does have the option to go back to Vanderbilt, which he should, because I think it's best for him, one, to get, I would say, kind of get just a little bit more in shape and also continue to have your regimen of getting in the bullpen and just working on the arm for sure. Now, the Mets, listen, the Mets are great. They're good, but that was dumb. Okay, I don't buy it was his arm. Money. Okay, it was money. That's what I think. Now, I like the Orioles to have picked him. It's just my personal opinion. We should have signed him. But Mike Elias, cheaply, the draft pool money, he feels that you can get more value in later rounds and not the first round, which makes no damn sense. But I liked our pick. We got Connor. I like him. No disrespect to him at all. But I would have liked to have seen a picture there because I don't really know how many infielders we're going to keep drafting. But I liked it. No problem with Colton Cowser. I have no issue with him. I think he's gonna be a great ball player for us. I can't wait to see him in probably 3, 4, 5 years. I can't wait to see that. But Kumar Rocker was there, and we should have took him. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, whether there's a good player there, I'm not saying Colton is not. He come out of Sam Houston. Okay, Sam Houston has a great little baseball program. I like it, but I'm just saying. Okay, let me stop. With that being said, this concludes episode 4 of Big League Talk Podcast. Again, I do apologize for the internet connection issues. I will have that fixed way before episode 5. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on the topics I touched on this evening. If you want to join the podcast, or you want to bring for me to discuss any other topics other than sports, when we talk about life, want to do interviews, leave those comments in the comments down below. Consider hitting that subscribe button along with notification bells on. With that being said, I'm out. Peace. Let's have a good week, y'all.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find. But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.